points that you are recommending on the fourth generation format.
Okay, so yes, thank you. We are continuing with the stakeholder engagement on the budget and on the finance bill of 2026. And so far, in terms of email submissions, you received the highest number of emails ever. As at yesterday, we had received 98,000 emails in terms of submissions. In terms of stakeholders, institutions like ISPAC, manufacturers, all of them, we have received around 100 of those stakeholders. We're still going on for the rest of the week. Most importantly, we are also going to 15 different counties starting from Monday. So we start with Monday being a public holiday, we start with Wajir, then we go to Turkana, we come to Nairobi, we go to Murang'a, we go to Mombasa. So we are sampling 15 different counties, still receiving views of the members of the public. There are mixed feelings about these particular proposals. There are some proposals that have overwhelming support, including, for example, exemptions of money paid as pension, especially when someone is dead, in terms of proposals being done in terms of supporting affordable housing. So there are quite a number of proposals that have a lot of support. There are some also that are contentious. I think one of them has been the issue about funds, but we have also realized that a lot of people are misinformed about the funds, because what the current law, if you check all the taxes that are included in an imported phone attracts 16% VAT, 15% excise duty, it attracts 25% import duty, it also attracts 1.5 import allocation fee, and 2.5% radio development levy. If you sum up all those taxes, they come to 55%. But what the finance bill is proposing is to exempt imported funds from VAT. That means they will attract zero VAT. Is to exempt imported funds from IDF, import declaration fee, and RDL, radio development levy. So, of course, import duty is a common tariff rate, is a rate that's applied in our East African community. So if you add up the 25% excise duty and the 25% import duty, then the total duties come to 50%. But what we are currently paying is 55%. So if the bill passes as it is, actually, the imported funds would become cheaper by 5 percentage points, because the current law provides for 55%. What is contained in the bill contains 50%. We have also received a lot of submissions from Kenyans saying that we need to review the PAYE bans. And what we have done is we have asked National Treasury to give us a submission. Yesterday we got a report that the proposed making less than 30,000 shillings to be tax-free, raising that from 24,000, would cause a deficit in the budget of 35 billion shillings. So one of the conversations we are having, for example, with the Budget and Appropriation Committee, is can we find a way of cutting our budget by 35 billion shillings, and that way we'll be able to give this reprieve to Kenyans earning 30,000 shillings and above. But of course now, what you find now in the Budget Committee, the submissions from the state departments, from the departmental committees, is that we are underfunded, roads are underfunded, education is underfunded, health is underfunded. We still need more funding for education. We still need more funding for infrastructure, whether it is our roads, our ICT network. And so it's a bit problematic where to find a cut of a whole 35 billion shillings. However, we have not made the decisions yet, because we're still doing public participation. As I said, we are still going to counties, and so by the end of that, we'll be able to. If you have a similar discussion next week, but one on a Monday, I will have a report, and we'll be able to tell Kenyans what we have been able to agree on, or be able to rationalize. But I want to assure everyone that there is no need to panic. We have received your views and are going to make the best decisions for the public of Kenya.
Why are you having public participation in 15 counties this time around compared to last time? Was it informed by the Gen Z uprising last time?
Not really. The public participation has been informed more on adherence to Article 118 of our Constitution. because Article 118 of our Constitution is very explicit that there must be public participation. In fact, on matters of taxation, our Constitution says there cannot be taxation without representation. And therefore, it's very important that we give as many an opportunity to Kenyans as possible to air their views. And in addition, yes, there are also lessons that you learned from the finance bill protests of 2024. Key among them that there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation. And that is why we're taking this time around to go to the grassroots, to where people are. In our public participation engagements, we start with we start with civic education. We start by education about what is contained, what is a finance bill, what is a budget, what is contained in it, and then now we give them a chance now to give us their views from the point of understanding. Because what happened last time is most people were not aware about the budget making cycle, they were not aware about the law making cycle, and that's why they felt that their views had not been heard. I also note that, for example, even in terms of the submissions we are receiving now, from whether it is from young people, from everyone, they are very informed. The ones that, even the emails that we are receiving, it is not like that time where they used to say reject, don't amend. Now we are seeing the submissions, the more than 100,000 emails we received. We have now Kenyans saying, I am happy with this clause, I'm happy with this clause, I don't think this is a good clause, I don't think this is a good provision, amend this, let us word it differently like this. So it's a very informed, active participation. But of course, there are the propagandists and the miscommunicationists, and who will still continue to do their work. But we are urging them to stop, but we are also trying the best we can to communicate so that we can go ahead of them.
And finally,
in the counties of Embu, Tharaka-Nithi, and Meru, when will it be ended?
I can confirm the date, but I'm sure we are in Embu and we're also going to Meru. So I can confirm the dates, but yes, we are also doing public participation across. So what we did in the old constitution, we used to have 8 provinces. So we sampled these counties from the 8 colonial provinces, and also because we have many bills that we do public participation, we also now have like a schedule. Like the counties we went to do this time around, when you're doing the next bills, is not where we go. We go to other different counties that we try to be as involving and active and educative and reach out to as many people as we can.
Chair,
You've raised the issue.
there's a question here from 347 signatures. Now, after reduction of VAT on petroleum, there is a gap of around 14.4 billion shillings. Has the National Treasury engaged the committee on how possibly to have a supplementary tool? Or
Yes. We are also challenging the Commission of Revenue Authority when they are doing their 4th revenue sharing formula to consider all parameters equitably. And an example is there's a poverty index, for example, should be a key factor in terms of the formula. The cost of delivering government services should be a key concern. You find that highly populated areas, the cost of providing services like roads is cheaper. But where in areas that are sparsely populated, you'll find one transformer would only serve 3 or 4 or 5 households. It is not that the others do not need, and therefore the cost of providing electricity in those areas is higher than where it is densely populated. So there is it's very important to balance between the needs of between population as one of the weights, as one of the factors in calculating the revenue sharing formula. We balance that with the land mass. We make sure there is consideration of poverty index, and lastly, get accurate data, because there are some areas that were sparsely populated in 2019. Now they are higher populated than areas that were recorded as being highly populated that particular time.
Thank you, Chairman.
That's one of the options that is being looked at, whether we might have to actually have a supplementary budget to take care of the dip in terms of collection after VAT was reduced from 16% to 8%. However, it coming at the tail end of the financial year, we also realized that challenges, especially on EGP, has made the absorption rate of most budgets low. And so it is likely that we might not need to have that, because already they are allocated. There's some MDAs that were allocated resources, but because of the slow in the adaptation challenges, the teething problems that we had with EGP, they may not be able to absorb that in this financial year, and therefore in another 1 month the funds will lapse, and therefore there might not really be a gap in terms of real expenditure. But of course now those are things that need to be rationalized in the new budget for 26-27.
Chair, can you expand on the issue raised there?